Hey fish friends, we're back with another video, and today I wanted to give you guys a walkthrough of our day, so like a day in the fish room, but we didn't really get to do that. So I ended up getting a lot of good footage this morning, and I'm going to share that with you guys, and I'm just going to take you through a little bit of a fish room update. I feel like that's what this video can be, right? So you guys are going to see a lot of new things that you guys haven't seen, and some maybe babies that you haven't seen. And we're going to talk about the fish room a little bit and just kind of the process of like what we're going to do next. And I want you guys to think like throughout the video what you want to see next the most. And if you could leave that down below, comment for us, and like and subscribe. We hope you guys enjoy this video. Here it is. Okay, good morning fish friends. As you can see, there are no lights on in the fish room yet. It's 7 a.m. and I realized last night that I didn't feed any of my hypancistrus. So one of the first things I do in the morning is I come over here and I turn on my UVB light for Miss Olive. You guys won't be able to see her. She's definitely hiding in there. And I check my digital thermometer hygrometer back there. But yeah, this is the very first thing I do when I come in the fish room in the morning. So I check on her, and then it's so dark in here still. I come over here to the fry rack and I check on all of my fry. It's really hard to see with no light on, but we've got a lot of projects going on, and I'm gonna work on some more things this morning. Okay, good morning fish friends. So last night I realized that I didn't do what I needed to do. I did not feed my hypancistrus fry, so we did have another spawn. The spawn that you guys seen earlier in the month, or maybe longer than a month ago now, did not make it. Unfortunately, we only had one of the fry survive, so he's still in there. We call him Darwin because he's survived, but the male did spawn with the female again, and now we have a whole spawn just out in the tank in the 40-gallon, and they're competing for food. They're looking for enrichment, so we have to make sure that we're feeding them. And so I'm going to show you guys how I've been feeding them recently, and they seem to really enjoy this. So I have my DIY Pleco paste here. I got this from Pleco Ceramics. It does take a little while to get in because they are from the Ukraine, a lot of going on there, but I highly recommend this food. It has a crude protein of 43%, so it's right there, right perfect for growing up your fry. If you're trying to spawn your hypancistrus, they seem to really enjoy this food. Anyway, I also put some Vitachem and garlic guard in it just to make sure that if there are any unwelcome internal guests, hosts, whatever you'd like to call them, parasites, that they're booted. The Vitachem is just like an extra enrichment as well, so more vitamins. But I'm going to show you guys how I make this food. The whole measuring spoon, because I don't really have a lot to feed right now, so here we go. I've got quite a bit in there. I don't know if I'll use it all. Let's just see what it looks like. So I did about half. I'm going to put all that back. Just because I did miss out on my feeding last night doesn't mean that I want to like swell them up and feed them too much. So shake up our Vitachem. And you don't need a lot of it, just a couple drops of it. Garlic guard. Same thing with the garlic guard, just a couple drops. Doesn't have to be the whole bottle. So I keep both of those in my fridge And now we're gonna do, I'm gonna make sure that I'm reading it to you guys right. It's supposed to be 40 grams of pleco paste to 10 grams of food. That didn't make sense what I just said. Okay. To make 40 grams of pleco paste, take 10 grams of food and food formula and add 30 grams of water. Stir thoroughly. So I just really make it to where I feel like it's a consistent paste that I can actually put on the rock. So I have two rocks here, and this one is a little bit more porous, so it works a lot better. It dries a lot faster than this big rock that I have here. But they both work, so we're going to use them both. The little rock is going into our L33 tank for the pair, and the big rock will go into our L066 tank with my trio and their babies. So it takes a while stirring this to get it all mixed up. Sometimes I end up realizing maybe that I put too much water in it, and I go back and add a little paste just so it's not so runny. So I decided that I made it a little runny. I'm going to go back in and add just a tiny bit of this, because otherwise it's just a tiny, tiny bit. Oh, I'm spilling it. Here we go. I want to mix that in. I know I've said this, but guys, my plecos really enjoy this food. Like, even my, like, micro geophagus, like the German rams, they enjoy this on like a little piece of rock, just like a tiny bit of it. All fish, honestly, will just come up and pick at it, but plecos love this stuff. So once you feel like you've made a pretty consistent, which I just don't feel like this is very consistent. It looks like, it still looks way too soupy. I can always make multiple of these. These are good for 48 hours, so I can make, you know, 2 more rocks out of this if I make too much of it and it doesn't go to waste, luckily. I'm not just making way too much and wasting it. And so this is what the pleco paste looks like not dry. I'm going to put a fan on it, and we're going to leave it until it's dry, and we'll come back and put these in the tanks together. My phone is about to die, so I gotta get my charger, but I have to make some coffee for myself, and then we're gonna feed all the baby fish. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I am jamming to Fall Out Boy's new album, So Much for Stardust, this morning, because it is stuck in my head, and I'm gonna drink my coffee and feed the baby fish. So join us. Mata Mata is out to say hello this morning. Okay, so we have the brine shrimp sitting. I'm gonna go ahead and stir this up, make sure there's no egg down there. Okay, so I've let these guys sit up here in the light for a minute, and as you can see, all the dark particles in there is the eggs that we do not want to feed our baby fish. So what I like to do is I like to come in right around this area here where they build up on the wall, and I'll suck that up, and then we'll check our pipette here and see if there's any eggshells in it before we go giving it to our angelfish fry. So, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's definitely an egg in there. So I don't want to give that to them. And this is one thing that I am not enjoying using this brine shrimp hatchery, is I'm constantly getting eggs no matter what. No matter how hard I try to not get eggs, they just seem to come through. And here again, my third attempt, and I have another egg in it. So I know it's blurry, but this pipette here is actually free. I'm gonna go ahead and put that down. You can see the baby fish going for it. Okay, it's really hard to get this close up for you guys, but this is a cup full of paramecium from my scud and paramecium culture, paramecium culture. I actually am feeding these to my killifish fry though, so they're coming in handy, they're getting used up, and we're gonna put these in here. I have a video of when the culture was like thriving. It's a little died back right now, but I plan to get it up and thriving again and make a video for you guys. So if you want to see that, comment below. But we're gonna take these up here and feed them to our baby killifish that are probably extremely hard to get on camera right now. There's probably about 20 of them in here or more. But they eat that live food until they can start getting on live baby brine.
There's one right there.
Oh yeah.
And we got him on camera. There's one in the back. And then there's one up here.
Yeah.
And then there's another one in the back too that I can't even see with my eyes, but I can see it with the camera.
Oh, there's one right there.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah, okay. Well,
they're so tiny. They're the tiniest thing ever.
And I plan to in a few weeks here, I'll have another batch ready to open up and just show you guys on a video how we hatch them out, and then we can go through the process together of culturing paramecium and feeding these guys. I haven't put anything like prepared in here yet. I haven't tried any kind of flake. I've just been feeding from the paramecium 10 gallons. So they seem to be growing and doing well, and I'm hoping here in a day or two they can start eating live baby brine. This stuff is super messy, and I have had nitrates the very next day feeding with this stuff, so I like to do regular water changes, but I like that it does this whole like popping off, because now you see there's food just everywhere for the babies, so they don't necessarily have to get on the rock to get the nutrients. And in fact, there's a baby right there, and he's getting him some breakfast. And now the camera's not focusing on him, but there. And he's gone. There's some back here by the sponge filter. They're really hard to see. There's another one by the heater. So they're in here. The daddy wouldn't let me get them out. We tried multiple times to get the eggs out, and he was just not having it. So he let them out in due time. I think it was like the 20th day of the hatch that he decided to let them out of the cave. So they've been out of the cave now for like 3 or 4 days. So I'm gonna turn the light back off and let these boogers get some food. Okay, so I'll show you guys the pink one. It dried a lot faster. It dried in like under 5 minutes. Let's get it in here. And it holds a lot better than the other rock does as well. So as you can see, there's not as much of it just like flying off. So I just sit that right next to where they like to hang out. And I'm going to turn the light back off so that they can actually enjoy it, but normally I'm feeding them at nighttime. Okay, I just took about 5 gallons of water out of our Daphnia culture, and I'm going to give them some green water. out of one of our tanks. Way too late.
Okay, we remembered all way too late, but we left the green water tank draining into a bucket and it overfilled on the floor. So that is just another day in our fish room. We love to make giant messes as often as possible.
Alright, we're gonna give these guys some live Daphnia this morning for breakfast. Has a lot of algae growth in it, and it just looks really not great. So I'm gonna get in there and we're gonna clean it up, and we're gonna add a whole bunch of plants in and just make everything look a little nicer and try to get control of this algae. I've got the aquarium clean, and I didn't plan on taking up that whole layer, but you'll see why I did is I think it is cyanobacteria, so I want to try to get rid of that, and by replacing some plants in here, I think that the substrate is really prone to algae, this sand, plus mixed with the plant substrate has made it really hard for the tank to not create some sort of algae, and unfortunately it just seems to always be cyano with this type of sand. So the first plant I'm putting in here is, let's show them actually the whole bucket of plants we're putting in, and these are on our website, so as we go through I'll tell you what each one is and we'll kind of see them all. But we have a plant bundle if you guys are interested in getting some plants to maybe help control some algae or help make your tank a little bit more manageable. This is dwarf Sagittaria. So as you can see, this is a stem plant and it sends off runners and it makes new little versions of itself. It's a very easy care plant. And I'm drowning him. So you can see we've got the dwarf sag sitting right here now. I did not want to go where I originally had sat it. And now I have my twisted Vallisneria, which is also a stem plant, and I'm going to put it, kind of try to hide my heater some maybe. So here is the jungle val. This was originally already in here, but I pulled it out to get some photos, and now it's going back in. I'm gonna put it over here. By my bamboo. I really love all three of these stem plants and every plant that I'm putting in here today because they're really easy beginner plants. If you feel like you kill everything, these plants are pretty hard to kill. This is another stem plant, but it also does grow in the water column, and the roots you see here actually were grown like out in the water column. So I am gonna submerge them. I'm gonna put it over here on the side. I'm hoping it'll just start making some more of itself for me instead of algae. Now I've got a really nice portion of Java moss here, and I'm just gonna sit this back here, like by this rock. This plant here is Cryptocorn wendii. It's another stem plant that sends off little runners or like little baby plants of itself. They have a really large root system most of the time, and this one is green, but all of my plants have bronze in them as well for the Cryptocorn family, so may get a little bit of both if you order from us. Oops. I'm not even using this. Okay. This plant here is some of my Amazon sword runners, so These guys are little baby Amazon swords. I'm hoping they'll take a lot of the nutrients out of the substrate and help this tank get back on its feet. Jotless wants to come over here. Okay, I've got 2 more of these big cryptocorns I want to put in here because I just feel like there's so much nutrients in this water column that I am missing out on. The pea puffers are being really good. I feel like I'm gonna get bit here in a minute. I'm like, I've been good. This plant here is Java fern. It's just a little clipping I took from one of my plants. And I'm just gonna sit it in this barrel over here. That looks cute. And that's all the plants. I gotta put this cryptocorn down. Alright, we're gonna fill the tank up and get some pictures and videos of it now. So I just dropped some live blackworms in for the pea puffers. 3 of them ran away, scared of the camera, but these 2 are having a good old time. Having some spaghetti-o. As you can tell behind the pea puffer, I did put some subwasser tong in here. I felt like it wasn't really thriving in the shrimp tank I had it in, so I was like, I gotta get that out of there. And now it's in here. Hopefully it does good. Hopefully all these plants do good. I think the pea puffers are pretty happy with the remodel. They needed, you know, some space. So it is a little dusty in here, and I probably will do another water change again tomorrow and clean up a little bit more, but I don't want to shock anything, so. Definitely looks a lot better than it did. So I've had these guys for like 6 months now. I have 6 stir-bay cories, right? And I was like, oh no, I don't think I have a female because I hadn't had any spawning. So look at these beautiful guys though. They're still pretty young and she only drops 2 eggs at a time. It looks like I have 2 females and 4 males out of this batch. And look, this is all that I got, guys. I have 9 eggs in the tumbler. I'm happy with it, you know, like I'll take what I can get from you guys. It's just really exciting to see them finally breeding and seeing all that hard work pay off for them. I really hope to get some babies from these guys, and you guys can pick some up if you're interested, but that'll be later on in the fish room. I do have some of these available right now, which are longfin chocolate bristlenose plecos. I have some albinos available, some blue lemon variety as well, so really awesome stuff. So I wanted to show you, there's Big Mama comes running up, but these are 2 new angelfish I picked up from a friend of my mom's. Shout out to Tina, love your angelfish. Haven't gotten a spawn yet, hopefully soon. They've been cleaning up that slate you see in the background very well today, so I think we'll be getting some spawning going on really soon, and I can't wait to show Tina what her grandbabies look like. So this is also from Tina. This is a black marble and it's a female. She's beautiful. I know that this my tank is dirty, so it looks awful and there's reflection, but she's gorgeous. She's a veil, I'm pretty sure. So beautiful, beautiful, and I can't wait to try to get some babies from her. She's paired up with the male as well, so we'll see what happens, but I plan to get them moved down to a different tank. This was just, I didn't really plan on purchasing them, and then I did buy them, so I was like, well, I have this tank right here ready to go, and I put them in here. They immediately started beating up the marble, so I separated them. I'm hoping to get a spawn from the kois first, and then maybe I'll let the male go over to the marble side or just transfer them out of this tank. We'll see what I do, but later on I'd like to get them into the 215. So the 215's been under construction, and I plan to put a lot of our angelfish and my discus back in there here soon, so stay tuned for the 215 getting remodeled. So as you guys can see here, we do have some wrigglers in this container, and they're 2 days wrigglers, so hatched from their egg, and I'll be putting them in an aquarium, trying a different method, because right now my fry rack is a little high in TDS, so I think that's the best choice. These are from my sapphire ram spawn, so I have a clip that I'll put in just a minute of the parents, and the female is more of an electric blue ram, but the male is definitely more of a sapphire. I had another female and she passed away, unfortunately. She was much more sapphire, but this female is just as beautiful and thriving, so I'm hoping to raise these up correctly this time, as I'm still a beginner and learning a lot of the things, but I'll show you guys what their parents look like now. We also have another spawn from my red koi's from Steve Ribicki. So these guys need to get put in the fry rack as well, and they are 1 day hatched, so they're a day apart from the rams, but I still need to get my fry rack together so that they can go in there. The last angelfish batch I had deceased in their container instead of becoming free swimming, so I think that the TDS is too high and it just needs a really good, like, everybody moved out into grow out and a nice good water change and clean out so that we put them back in there. Hey fish friends, it's the end of our video and we hope you really enjoyed it. I know the past few videos hasn't been like top tier quality. We're still really new to YouTube and we really appreciate all the kind support that we've been getting. I really love seeing like people come to our channel from like Secret History, Living in Your Aquarium, and just like LRB. It's so cool to see some of the subscribers transfer over and to just check out our fish room, because it's just all a learning process for us, and I really appreciate all of you guys, and we would love to see you back in our channel. So subscribe, hit that bell, and leave a comment below the next thing you want to see in the fish room.